Chapter 628, Landing Party. Zhu Jingyi's impassioned and generous speech kicked off the meeting. He didn't give a long speech, because the circumstances were basically clear to everyone present. Next, we will use the Heavenly Squad as the main force to form a special force. It will be responsible for handling this incident, Zhu Jingyi said, looking at Bai Changqing. As for the Black Robe Squad, since they have just finished their mission in Tianhai City and are currently in a state of rest, they should not be directly involved in the operation for the time being. However, Bai Changqing, as a veteran, can provide tactical support in this operation. Bai Changqing saluted. Yes. The above content was something that the foreigners in the outer city were prepared for, so they had no objections and just listened silently. From the perspective of status and position, they should just obediently follow the arrangements of the headquarters. However, Zhu Jing took the time to explain to them, which was a kind of respect for them. Zhu Jing leaned over the table and said, "If you don't have any comments on the arrangements for this operation, then the next part will be the highlight of the day." While our first batch of aliens were on mission, the recording devices they carried with them captured valuable footage. This is the important information we have collected about the Eclipse so far. Let's watch the video first to get a general idea of the enemy we will face next. Then I would like to hear your opinions. After Zhu Jing finished speaking, he gestured for Lan Xincheng to play the video while he slowly sat down. The expressions of the crowd really became serious. Collecting intelligence is crucial to the fight against the aliens. They also wanted to see what was so special about those Ronin that they were able to destroy 10 foreign organizations in the outer city in just 1 hour. This would have a significant impact on their subsequent actions and even determine their lives or deaths. The lights in the meeting room went out, and a huge projection appeared on the wall, playing the video that had been saved that day. At the beginning of the screen, everyone saw the Hang City foreign organization that was first attacked, the team led by Peng Jialua. The video was long, edited but still more than 3 hours long to ensure that no key information was missed. It basically restored the battle that day from the perspective of many people, the battle that the top 10 organizations of aliens faced. Even so, the completeness of the video was still not quite enough. Because some of the battles ended too quickly, the video was unable to capture the footage completely. Throughout the entire process, everyone watched very carefully, not even daring to blink. After watching the video, Lan Xincheng walked forward and solemnly said to the crowd, "In addition to the information collected on site, our headquarters has also collected information on the group through various intelligence channels. Please take a look. In addition, I will pass all the video data to everyone's hands later." Zhang Yixin felt slightly relieved, which made him feel much better. During the viewing process, many details may have been missed. He needs to watch it again and again to study the characteristics of those Ronin's abilities. Immediately afterwards, Lan Xincheng opened a data file and communicated it to the group via projection. Eclipse Moon Organization, from the Neon Kanto region. There are a total of 13 members. Before the end of the world, their identities were all various professionals in society, not professional combat troops. After the end of the world, the leader of the Eclipse Moon Group, Renhuan, began to gather powerful aliens to form the powerful and vicious existence of the Eclipse Moon Group. Even when they were in the Kanto region, they were already a feared executioner organization. And instead of surviving, they massacred the aliens in the Kanto region in a brutal way. According to some of the information provided by the current governing organization in Kanto, the reason why they launched such a large-scale killing operation against the aliens was because they were the first to discover that aliens of Delta class or above could absorb the alien energy of others to complete their own evolution. Because of this, the Azuma organization began to rely on the power in their hands and launched a siege against Eclipse Moon. According to Azuma, Eclipse Moon was a Ronin who was defeated by them and had to flee to the sea. Lan Xincheng pushed his glasses, and the blue, eerie light shimmered on the lenses, giving off a strange vibe. But there's another theory, and that is that they are loyal followers of the Neon Landing School. It wasn't Azuma that drove them away, but they chose to land on our country's territory of their own accord. Zhang Yi learned a lot of new terms again. For example, the division of power in Neon today, and the landing school. Although it is very novel, it sounds very confusing, and this feeling is not very good. Zhang Yi raised his hand and said, "Excuse me, what does the landing faction mean?" Lan Xincheng pushed his glasses and said, "The landing faction is an extremist ideology that has always existed in Neon. Since the Meiji Restoration, there have been people in Neon who have proposed that the archipelago is not conducive to the development of the Neon race. The most far-reaching and well-known idea is the theory of the sinking of Neon. This idea holds that as an island nation, Neon is far from the continental shelf and will eventually be affected by the movement of the continental plates and sink into the sea. The final destination of the people of Neon must be to board the continental plate in order to survive. In short, in the eyes of the landing faction, they must leave the mainland of Neon. Then, the ideal new habitat in their eyes is on the other side of the sea." Zhang Yi muttered, "The other side of the sea? But that's also unreasonable." He analyzed carefully. If they want to land, it would undoubtedly be easiest to land from Silla and Beach. In that small place, I'm afraid there isn't much powerful force to defend it, is there? Lan Xinchen nodded. "You're right. If it were the landing faction in the past, they would indeed advance from Silla and Beach first, and then plot the territory of Huagua. But now it's the Ice Age. The situation is different. The leader of the Eclipse Moon Group previously sent a video requesting that we grant them a piece of land in the Central Plains region to settle. This means that they are worried that after the glaciers melt, the coastal areas will also be flooded by the rising sea." Lan Xincheng added, "The landing party is originally a group of crazy people with a serious sense of crisis. If it weren't for the fact that the living conditions in the highlands are too difficult, I even suspect that they would be eyeing the highland regions." Chapter 629, The 13 Eclipse Moons. After listening to Lan Xincheng's explanation, Zhang Yi couldn't help but frown slightly. Because of this kind of thinking of the landing faction, he had also had it before. There were no signs of the arrival of the Ice Age, and it was impossible to fight against nature with human power. No one knew when it would end. And when the global Ice Age ended and the temperature warmed up, it would inevitably lead to a huge flood sweeping across the world as the ice and snow melted. At that time, Tianhai City, located on the coastline, will definitely be submerged by the sea. I have to say that the Neon people's considerations in this regard are still very far-sighted, which is also related to their island's special living environment. Of course, Zhang Yi will not sympathize with them. Since a natural disaster is coming, whoever can survive will do so based on their own abilities. Their desire to occupy the fertile land in the Central Plains is completely delusional. Humph. Zhang Yi suddenly heard a snort, accompanied by the sound of a table being smashed. Everyone looked in the direction of the sound and saw a man wearing a tightly fitting, off-white outfit, with an exaggerated hat that covered almost his entire head. His eyes were full of murderous intent, and he said with clenched teeth, "These damned dogs and thieves actually dare to plot against the Central Plains. They are simply ignorant of their own mortality. We must kill them all, and then show the dogs on the island what happens to those who offend us." Although the man disrupted the rhythm of the meeting due to his agitation, no one criticized him. At this time, no one in the crowd was not filled with righteous indignation, wanting to severely punish those Ronin and then shock the petty people around them who had ulterior motives. Lan Xincheng waited until the man's emotions had stabilized before continuing. "In short, this is the origin of the Eclipse Moon organization. They are not composed of professional members such as soldiers and special police, but are truly Ronin in the truest sense of the word. However, their leader, Renhuan, did have 5 years of military service experience, which we will talk about next. Then we will introduce the information on each of them." Neon also provided some information, but due to concerns about the authenticity of the information, we will not consider it. The following content is all from our own sources. I won't read it out, as there is a lot of content. Please take a closer look for yourselves. Lan Xincheng stepped down, and the content in the projection became the information on the Eclipse Moon members. Everyone couldn't help but sit up straight and read the content of the information word by word. Although they all hated these Ronin, they had to admit that these guys were terrifyingly strong. The following is some of the information on the 13 members of the Eclipse Moon Group. 1. Team Leader, Renhoen, male, 36 years old. Enhanced Ability User, Unknown Ability, served in the Neon Sea Self-Defense Forces from 2033 to 2037. Note, his actions were not detected during the first battle, so there is no accurate information about his abilities. 2. Mayumi Takeuchi, female, 22 years old. Heir to the Neon Takeuchi family, novice shrine maiden. Unknown abilities. Note, she was not seen in action during the first battle, so there is no accurate information about her abilities. 3. Nobunaga Tsukamoto, male, 33 years old. Formerly known as Oki Tsukamoto, he later changed his name to Nobunaga Tsukamoto. A contemporary successor of the Nichiren school, he is a master swordsman who has passed down the rank of Kenjo, and is an expert in Iai and Zan. A martial arts enthusiast, he was imprisoned in 2042 for dueling and killing his opponent, and was released 7 years later. A powerful alien with enhanced abilities, his abilities are unknown. Note, in the first battle, he fought and captured Yunzhou Li Tianluan alive. 4. Daiku Kaido Yenjin, male, 33 years old. A former Neon Sumo wrestler, rank Yokozuna. An Orc-type ability user with the ability code. Weapon, Dragonfly Slash. Note, an extremely powerful melee-type alien who, in the first battle, single-handedly annihilated the 2 alien teams of Si Xingmeng Shucheng and Ba Qingli Guoqiang. Extremely dangerous. 5. Shingoji Saikairo, male, 42 years old. Before the end of the world, his identity was a stock trader. A user of the release system with unknown abilities. Note, his image was not captured during the first battle. 6. Shinichiro Akutsu, male, 29 years old. A former key member of the Chiba Prefecture Farm Group. A user of the strengthening system, he is a melee-type alien who fights with a baseball bat. 7. Nato Kamaya, male, 38 years old. A former professional baseball player who played for the Mifune East Baseball Club. A beast humanoid type with the ability code and the ability to transform into a 15-meter-long ancient giant snake. 8. Shirju Wushan Wu, male, 19 years old. After graduating from high school, he became a NET. His ability is unknown, and he did not appear in the first battle. 9. Agatsuma Nanako, female, 26 years old. Former member of the Neon Girl Group KBA-48. A user of a unique ability, with the ability code. Currently known abilities: 1. Creating illusions through music. 2. Using sound waves to attack the human body. 10. Takashi Takizawa, male, 27 years old. Former network engineer for the Shindoji Group. A user of the release system with the ability code, he can control electricity to fight. 11. Nuruz Hanakio, female, 24 years old. Heir to the Neon Ninja Clan, proficient in ninjutsu. Because his attacks are mainly sneak attacks and he does not actively appear in combat, no footage of him attacking has been captured. His abilities are unknown. 12. Kurosawa Akio, male, 34 years old. A former member of the Neon Sea Self-Defense Forces, and later retired. A user of the ability to release, with the ability code, and can release supernatural attacks through special weapons. 13. Sakuraba Yoshimitsu, male, 28 years old. A road worker in Nara Prefecture. The ability is unknown, and the first battle did not capture its image. The above is basically all the information on the Eclipse Moon organization. After reading it, Zhang Yi felt a sense of helplessness. There was simply too little information to find a way to defeat the enemy. At most, he could be more careful when encountering Eclipse members. It seems that the sacrifice of so many lives in the first battle did not result in much meaningful information. After reading the information and watching the video, Zhu Jing sat in his chair and carefully examined the group. Everyone, we have finished going through the information in our hands. Do you have anything you want to say? If you have any good suggestions for the next operation, or if you still have any questions in your hearts, you can all bring them up at this time. Let's discuss them together. After all, compared to the soldiers of Blizzard City, who are better at team combat, you are the experts in the field of lone wolves. This also expresses Zhu Zheng's true thoughts. From the way Eclipse Moon fought, it can be seen that they are not good at team combat. After all, each one of them is a lone wolf gathered by Ren Phoenix. And this time, the dozen or so Delta-level strangers gathered from the outer city are similar to them.